going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Three Wide Podcast. I know you guys have probably missed us. It feels weird to be doing this again. I can't lie. And I'm with the man again, the Ferrari man, live in the flesh. And this time, he actually has some real F1 Ferrari merch to rep. Took him about 4 years, but
You already know how it is. You already know how it is. I was waiting on this. Waiting on this.
why do you say you were waiting on it when you could have bought it with your own fucking money?
It, it's what we have, you know?
Alright, so today's episode is going to be mainly revolve around hot takes of Formula One because we've had a long break from our last episode, and just because Formula One has been at quite a quiet period with car reveals about to come out, Drive to Survive about to come out in around a month's time, which is very, very exciting.
Wait, we're doing
stuff.
hot cakes, not pancakes?
That's going to be it for today's episode, everybody. Hope you guys have been down playing. I'm playing. Also, I did get this shirt for Christmas, this Haas Formula One shirt. I am still a McLaren fan. I'm just repping it because I do like the colors, and I'm American, so repping the American team.
No, that's Cap. He likes Haas over McLaren. It's Cap.
I'm gonna kill this guy. I promise. No, anyway, let's get into some hot takes, and I know you have a couple prepared. So you know what, Bryan? Celeste from Rory, man. How about you start? Give me
All right.
your your hottest take. I'm joking.
Okay, so I think, you know what? I'll start off with this. I know this one's gonna be an interesting topic, though. Pierre Gasly and Ocon will have a very sour-like relationship in the beginning, but it's all gonna change once we go. Is Spa after the first break or before the first break? I think after.
I think it's
right?
the first race back. I think it's the first race back.
First race back. Okay, so the one before
I think
the
Hungary.
break, yeah, when they come back to Spa, they're gonna have a better okay. So basically, my hot take is they're gonna have a
Halfway
very
through the season's gonna be spicy. Halfway.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's my take. Yeah.
So, what I'm gonna say to that is, what we saw between Ocon and Alonso last year, and the year prior, we could say it
Our
was
little friend, little friend.
we could say it was pretty spicy, right? However, they did pretty well. Like Alpine as a team would finish P5, P6, P4 here and there, right? Imagine if the two teammates are working together. And imagine Alpine have a quicker car. But on the flip side,
Even if they have the same car, it'll still be
on
better
the
than
flip side,
what you know.
if they have a quicker car, they the drivers might want to become more solo. You know what I mean? Like they might feel they're more inclined to win. You know what I mean? So they might become more ruthless toward each other. What do you think on that?
I think that they're basically going to be I think essentially the same fighting that we saw as probably Alonso, but I think it might be a lot more worse because you now have two race winners on the same team with hopefully a good car. Reliability is going to be a questionable, and it's probably going to keep their results in check. Although I hope I'm wrong here, but definitely it's gonna amount to them battling it out because they both are technically good.
Mm.
And yeah, I
I-
mean technically Gasly has like more podiums I think than Ocon, but still, I think that there's definitely gonna be some nice fighting to see.
I'm about to link your point because I have a very hot take. So you say two race winners, right? And my hot take revolves around two race winners and around the same thing, how you think it could get spicy. I think George
Yeah.
Russell, Lewis Hamilton is going to get very, very fierce this upcoming year. And here's why.
Really?
I think, hot take, we could see a very, very fierce competitive relationship between George and Lewis. So Valtteri and Lewis, well, let's start a couple years prior, oh, not a couple years, like 6, 7, 8 years prior. Nico and Hamilton started off
Well, he
as
joined in
best
17, so it was like about
16,
Let's say
16,
what, like
15.
5 years. 5 years.
Eight,
five-ish
18 was
years.
it 5 years ago. Anyway,
Oh,
Nico
really?
and
Shit.
Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton, right? Started off as pretty
Nico.
good friends. However, because of the development of Mercedes and the dominance that they started to impose, we all saw how that relationship went, right? Now
Mhm.
they moved on from Nico to Bottas, and Bottas knew going into Mercedes that he was going to be the second driver, right? He was going to basically feed Lewis championships. Let's be real here, right?
Yep. Basically.
Now, George Russell signed for Mercedes the year that they dominated, well, not dominated, the year they were beefing with Red Bull, but still a fast car, correct? So he kind of had the
Mhm.
sense that, I'd be kind of being back up to Lewis. However, the view that Mercedes had to George was different of the view Mercedes had to Valtteri, because George is this young, competitive driver with a bright, bright future. A little different from Valtteri because they got Valtteri when he was more of a veteran in Formula One. George is, as compared to the current grade, he's more raw in terms of Formula One experience. However, with this year's tumultuous season, as
Mm.
Mercedes expectations go, both drivers struggled. It could be argued that Lewis did struggle more than George Russell. I think that's a fair assumption to make. Lewis did have very, very good
Mhm.
results. George Russell had the only race win for Mercedes this year. And that only race win was a 1-2 as well, with Hamilton coming second place in Brazil. And we've seen in the past how he literally fought with Valtteri Bottas. We've seen his driving at places like USA, where he completely binned off Carlos Sainz with any chance of not only winning the race but completing it, which I know hurt you. I'm saying
Yeah.
with a hungry Lewis Hamilton, because we know after an absolute manipulation of a final race in 2021 and with a tumultuous season for Mercedes in 2022, you know Lewis Hamilton more than ever wants that eighth championship. And you know George Russell wants more than ever to start competing for race wins more consistently after getting a taste of it in Brazil and after being in a Williams for his first 3 to 4 years, finishing P18, P17, whatever. For those reasons, I believe Lewis Hamilton and George Russell will become a very, very toxic relationship.
Mm.
Maybe not to the standards as Nico and Hamilton, Rosberg and Hamilton, but I believe it could get pretty toxic.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like they respect each other. I want to say it's going to be more like a Seb versus Lewis in 2018. So
Mm.
it's going to be like one of those, you know? They might not be on different teams, but I feel like it's going to be like one of those. Like they're going to respect each other, have a healthy rivalry, you know?
You said Seven Lewis.
Um, Even a hungry Lewis Hamilton and a hungry George Russell because he did get a taste of Sao Paulo. Um, and I think is definitely going to be because one could technically argue the same for the Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc rivalry. I mean, Carlos Sainz did get his first win in Britain, so he's also technically hungry for more wins, obviously, and especially that he saw that he could do it, he's going to definitely be more hungry, and you know, but he's still racing with Charles Leclerc, who only has 5 wins to his name, surprisingly. I don't know why he doesn't have more, but anyway,
Ferrari strategy and driver error.
fuck.
Sorry.
Swear to God, man.
I had
Anyway,
something stuck in my throat. Pause.
hey yo. Anyway, so um, basically, I don't know, I feel like they'll be able to keep it healthy, but I feel like it's gonna be a very definitely gonna be very stressful on both drivers, but it's gonna be like a Valtteri, Vettel
Vettel,
versus
Hamilton.
Hamilton in
The
2018.
only thing is, it's different when you're in the same team and driving the same
It
car.
is. It is.
It's much
It is.
different. It is much. I mean, I don't know because I'm not a Formula One driver, but you know, of course, there's gonna be a rival between two competing number one drivers, right? Seb Vettel in a Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton in a dominating Mercedes. There's always gonna be a rivalry there. I'm sure it's gonna hit different when Lewis sees his regen, of George Russell, this next, British hero driving, maybe to replace Lewis. You know what I mean? Seeing him win the only race for Mercedes this year, it's gonna hit different. And I know Hamilton wants the eighth championship more than anything in the world. So Also, have you
I know
seen
that too.
how the whole thing about history repeating itself with I believe
Yeah.
the Hamilton winning in 2009 and then a young Red Bull driver ruining it for 2 years, then a Ferrari driver winning it, which was
No, no, no. It was Hamilton winning in 2008. A new winner then comes in 2009 because that was Jenson Button, which could be Lando Norris. A hint of Lando Norris because Jenson Button is a Brit. Or that could be Lewis Hamilton 2008, and then 2009 season could be like either George Russell or Lando Norris. Could be either of those two. And then a German dominates for 4 years, but right now there is no
no, the thing was
German.
a young Red Bull driver for two straight.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we'll see what happens.
which I
But
mean,
I have another hot take, and this is off the track. This is going to be um, the most dramatic and I guess painful for viewers. Not painful, but like gut wrenching. Drive to Survive yet. With all the drama that's happened this year, the Mercedes drop off, the Daniel Ricciardo drop off, the beef between Alonso and Ocon at times. The Piastri saga will definitely be in there. This is going
yeah,
to be a very dramatic Drive to Survive. And because Netflix dramatizes Drive to Survive so much for
everything.
viewers, just imagine how they're going to dramatize these scenarios because the whole Piastri saga was huge. The Alonso saga of him leaving and leaving Alpine the same
Yeah,
day as they knew he's leaving and then going to Aston Martin. It's going to be a crazy season. And the whole thing
this is
about
gonna
the
be
Ferrari
fire.
meltdown, which I know is going to hurt you.
That's gonna hurt
This
me
is
a
going to
lot.
be a
I
good
don't want to
season,
see
right?
that. I don't want to see it.
No more radio.
No more radio. Rest of the days. No more radio. Rest of the days. Um,
What's your take on that?
yeah, that's definitely gonna be a worthy hot take. Um, I actually have another hot take, and I feel that I don't know if we did a hot take before, and we did say that Checo might be soon aiming for retirement because of his family and stuff like that. Maybe Ricardo's move to Red Bull was I mean, it's definitely a smart idea, but
Hmm.
he could be on his way to get back into the Red Bull
I've
scene.
been hearing this. I've been hearing this circulate. People speculating how a mid-season move might
Yeah,
be. What's your opinion on that? And just your take
but
in general.
here's the
Yeah,
thing.
hit me with it.
My hot take is that
Mid-season.
it's not going to be as simple as people think, and that might not happen. Here's why. I feel this is going to be like a sort of 2-in-1-ish hot
Hmm.
take. Nick DeVries will impress really well in the AlphaTauri.
And get a
Like, let's
mid-season call up to Red Bull.
over Ricardo.
Oh, so just he would be first name to Red Bull over Ricardo.
First pick over Ricardo, despite Ricardo being
Mm.
a third driver.
And
And
this
I
is
feel like
irrespective of
it
what.
starts
This is
some
just
drama.
when Perez leaves. It's not okay. You're not putting a timestamp on it, or are you?
It's not. Here's the thing. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I kind of want to put a timestamp on it, but I kind of don't because I feel like if you really, we've seen driver changes in the middle of the season. I mean, look what happened with Kvyat in what 2015, I think.
Mm.
Red Bull seat taken away mid-season, given to Max Verstappen. So if De Vries could literally, it's not
Yeah,
impossible.
16.
Yeah, 2015
15.
and
Yeah, right, 15.
15, yeah, and that was his first year in a Toro Rosso too.
Mhm.
I feel like De Vries could really impress in the AlphaTauri, despite that being an absolute shitbox. Like they'll probably see that it's a shitbox. It'll end up being a shitbox anyway, because AlphaTauri, bro. I'm sorry, there's no way. There's no way.
I
Um,
hear what you're saying.
it's the same. It's the same plagued curse as the Minottis, as the Toro Rossos. It's just they could change the name to fucking American Express Golden Platinum Card, whatever. It's still gonna perform the same shit, you know. And I feel like Nick DeVries is gonna impress, just like Lando's been impressing in the shitbox of a McLaren.
Wait till my next hot take. Just wait.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see about that one. But anyway, I feel like he's gonna get the mid-season call-up over Ricardo.
Mid-season, so you are putting a timestamp on it.
I am putting a timestamp. I'm saying it's going to be
So you're
mid-season. I
saying
think.
Perez
I
will
have
be
a
out of the
feeling.
seat mid-season?
If Perez doesn't like, I don't know if like Perez doesn't finish on the podium at all during the first half of the season before they go on their first break. I feel like there's gonna be a
Okay.
there's gonna be a call up. I have a
Interesting.
feeling.
Interesting.
It's a risky gamble, but it could happen. And I feel like they would want to try to fit De Vries in. He's capable. He's capable.
Very.
Um, that's not to disappoint any of the Checo fans, but I feel like if that's only
This one's
if
going on TikTok for
Checo
sure.
doesn't. Yeah, I feel like. Oh wait, no, they're gonna start lining up to beat my ass. Anyway, um, I feel like if he doesn't finish on the podium at least once during this first half of the season, if he finishes at least once, this is probably not gonna happen. But like if he doesn't, or if he's having such bad problems with the car, I feel like they might do a mid-season swap.
Fair. I mean, Red Bull are the team to pull something like that, right? The
They've done it in the past.
the only thing is, oh, all the beef aside, right? With the whole Monaco did he crash out on purpose?
Yeah.
With the whole Brazil fiasco,
Hmm.
that's another thing for the drive to survive as well. Um, Perez did his job in it. Like he did his job
He
for
did.
Max.
That's why this is a
2021,
very
he
risky
proved
call because
himself.
yeah, they might not do this because this is a very risky. They will lose the Minister of
The
Defense,
thing
and
is,
they can't lose the Minister of Defense
I'm
like
sure
that.
DeVries. I think Max and DeVries have a better relationship than Perez, just because they're both from Holland, and
Yeah, true,
so
but if Max is pursuing a title, I'm sorry, but I don't think De Vries is gonna really wanna give up that easily.
right, right.
That might turn into for sure a Hamilton versus Rosberg
What I
scenario.
agree with, I agree that
Checo won't do that. Checo won't do that
I
because he
agree
has the secondary driver
I
role.
agree that Red Bull will monitor the progress and development of DeVries very, very carefully because they are aware that Checo Perez, could retire shockingly at the end of the season, maybe, because he is a family man. There's been beef with Verstappen. It's clear that he's the second driver. You know,
Yeah,
I think the signing of Ricardo was definitely a smart one because him and Max have obviously worked in the past, and this season or these last two seasons of Ricardo not being his best can help signify to Red Bull and help Red Bull's case of negotiating with Daniel, saying, listen, if you do get this seat, you are going to be second driver to Max Verstappen, and you will be expected to basically feed him wins and points when they can, right? So, I mean, it'll be interesting. It'll be a very interesting debate there. My hot take is that the pairing of Lando Norris and Oscar
uh-oh.
Piastri
I feel like
will
this is
be
what's
a
coming.
superstar lineup in Formula One. I think Piastri is going to hit the mark. I don't know when. He might take a couple of races. And if, I said this before, but if McLaren deliver a race-winning car,
If
good luck stopping these people, these racers. Good luck.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. My homeboys at um Milano, Italy have
Maranello.
spoken, and they said that oh yeah, Milano, Maranello,
Maranello!
Marinello is the Italian. Anyway,
Never say that
uh,
again. You just disrespected a
offended the
whole entire
entire
country.
country. Yeah, but I've been
Fair
dismissed.
play,
As you
fair
know.
enough.
Um,
Oh, I have another hot take,
I
by the way.
feel
Speaking of Italy.
we all have hot takes. That's what we've been doing for this entire past like episode.
I
Uh,
know, but
you plank. Anyway, no more radio. That's today's. Um, damn it, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, okay. So I feel like Ferrari. I've heard that Ferrari's found
whoa.
extra
You're
pace.
supposed to. You're
Extra
fucking
pace.
Ferrari. You're supposed to be
Extra
fast.
pace.
You're
Extra
supposed to be
pace.
fast. You know what I had to deal with this last couple of fucking seasons? A shit box. A shit box of a car. I get. If you put Lando Norris in last year's Ferrari, he is right there with Max Verstappen on points.
Okay, I could see that. I could see that. But I actually have a counter to your thing. I
That
don't
Charles
know.
Leclerc will be the best ever this year. I agree.
I agree too. Um, Charles Leclerc 2023 World Drivers' Championship.
Oh,
Hashtag.
What?
Yes.
Hell no.
Yes.
Hell
McLaren's not gonna
no.
deliver shit. They haven't been delivering since
So what makes you think he's gonna win world champion?
because McLaren doesn't deliver shit. The only thing is they
Wait,
can
wait, wait,
deliver
wait, wait,
shit
wait,
on the
wait, wait.
blanket.
Wait. This ain't about McLaren no more. You just said Charles Leclerc
Leclerc
2023.
will win the 2023 World Drivers Championship. Telling you, he's
No,
hungry. He
no.
got a
Do you
taste
want
of
to
it,
bet right
and he was
now?
very close.
Let's bet right now. Let's bet
Ah,
$20. Let's bet $20.
$40.
If you're that confident, bet $20.
Gotta have my boy up, bro. I know
Do it.
he's gonna win,
$20.
bro. I know he's gonna.
I will bet that Charles Leclerc will
Bro,
be
he literally came in so close.
close.
He had moments, bro.
Close. He was fighting with third place.
Ferrari strategy.
And
The shit box.
you think he's gonna be faster than Lewis Hamilton and George Russell and those fast Mercedes? Okay, bro.
I've heard that
He
they
was
found
fighting
some
with a shitbox
astonishing.
from McLaren in Brazil. There's no shot to win the 2023 world champion. No
Bro.
shot. I think he will be a world champion, just not this upcoming season. No way. Not with
I
Max
don't know.
Verstappen. Not with a prime Lewis Hamilton still kicking about. Not with fucking Nico Hulkenberg and a Haas. So
Are you kidding me? That's bullshit. No way, Nico Hulkenberg in a Haas. He'll be a back marker, bro. Back marker to the most unsupportive driver. Suck my balls, mate.
I want to give my hot take about Italy. Real
I feel
quick.
that. Wait. Let me finish my hot take. I feel like the Piastri and Lando is going to be a Nico and Hamilton. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying.
Listen, Nico and
Two
Hamilton
very-
won a lot of championships for Mercedes, so
But their relationship's going to be very toxic, and I feel like that's going to be the same with Piastri and Lando.
we shall see. But I mean, I'll take championships,
Yeah.
and it'll only make them better. I don't think Lewis Hamilton would be who he is right now if it wasn't for Nico Rosberg. He was battle tested
Okay,
that year.
yeah. That year, 2014, 2015, 2016,
Oh yeah.
those years.
No, but mainly 2016 when he had
Yeah.
Austria, Belgium, Spain, Malaysia, just to name 4 fucking incidents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now,
Nico's hit me, guys. Nico's hit me.
Sainz is better than Leclerc. Anyway, moving on.
What? That's cap.
Yeah?
Cap.
Sainz nearly outperformed Leclerc for over half the season.
18 poles. 18 poles.
9 out of 10 outscoring finishes Sainz had over Leclerc in 10 straight races. Suck him on, mate.
He still came below top
Because he
5,
had a
I think, in
shit
the standings.
Ferrari reliability problem.
No.
Alright, here's what I'll think about Italy.
Italy.
Imola over Monza any day of the week. I'm sorry, it has to be
Boy!
said.
That's cap. I don't know, bro. That's cap.
Why?
That's cap,
Why?
Bro.
Explain.
Temple of Speed. It's the Tifosi there, bro. The Tifosi there.
To the Tifosi. Okay.
Tifosi.
Temple of DRS trains and
Fans.
boringness.
Ex-
The only,
They built
the
better
only
cars,
reason
maybe.
why the race was good in 2021 is because Max Verstappen almost killed Lewis Hamilton.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What's your hot take? Go on.
Oh, you were going to say hot take.
That was it. Imola over Monza.
Oh. Alright, well, my hot take is...
I'll go if you don't have one.
Nah. You know how they still don't have a... What's that guy called?
What's that guy called?
What who's like okay, team principal. They don't have a team principal for AlphaTauri, right?
Yeah.
They still don't to this day. And even Williams has now the James Vowles,
Uh-huh.
which I'll get into that one in a moment because I have a hot take for that one.
James, it's about to be.
I feel that definitely AlphaTauri is definitely going to pull something out of their ass for the team principal. It's going to be like some guy that nobody's probably even ever heard of.
No, you know what it's going to be?
Who?
It's going to be the first steps into Audi's plan.
Into what?
Audi's plan.
True.
It's
True.
going to be that guy. Probably someone
Could be guy.
develop. Zhou's probably not going to stay in Audi, right? I don't think so, right?
I don't
Audi
know.
might
Maybe
Audi might want two brand new
they might
drivers.
take Mick. They might take Mick, and maybe Vettel will return.
We'll see. We'll
We'll see a
see.
full German lineup.
But
Um, my other hot take is that James Vowles becoming team principal for Williams and Williams gaining Logan Sargent is the best thing that's happened to Williams since George Russell. That's my hot take.
what else has happened to Williams and George Russell besides Alex? Oh, Albon was pretty good for them.
I think Logan Sargent's gonna show who's top dog. All I'm saying is that I have my money bet
So
on
that's your
Logan
hot.
Sargent.
That's a really hot take. Sargent over Albon.
Yeah, Logan Sargent over
Fair.
Albon.
I haven't
He
really.
did come
I have.
P3, I think, in the
Yeah,
Formula 2.
I haven't watched
He did
enough
come
of.
P3.
I haven't watched enough of Sargent to really compare, but I know Albon's really good. And another thing
I
that
watched a few clips, and I think he's definitely gonna outperform Albon.
fair enough. I mean, listen, Williams has had a couple good things. Maybe, well, things have happened, like good things have happened in Williams. For example, Nick DeVries got a seat because of Williams, basically. Monza performance got him a seat. Help or really put the nail in the coffin. Albon's, could be a driver of the year candidate just because how much he outperformed that car. That's not talked about enough. But it is a hot take. It is a very hot take, very very hot take. Mine is adding teams like the potential of an Andretti or another team
Oh, son of a gun!
in
I was gonna
Formula
call that
One
in at the last
is
shot.
very very good for the sport. I like more teams in the sport. I really do. And with the engine, Andretti want to use GM or Cadillac for the engine provider. That's another good thing. More engine and power diversity. I like that. I think it's really good for the sport, and it buys in some more American fan bases, and hopefully more engine providers and teams could start bidding to start to engage the other parts of the world that aren't too associated with Formula One. I think it's really good for the sport.
That sounds good. All American lineup though?
Most likely, right?
Probably.
Colton?
Andretti joins in. I mean, I was gonna say Stefan Grand Prix. Do you remember Stefan Grand Prix?
I don't.
This
I've heard of
bald
it.
fat guy. Bald fat guy's been claiming for like the past 10, 20 years he's been trying to join in F1, but still couldn't join in F1. You know. Yeah, no, I think Stefan Grand Prix, that'll be funny if we ever see him on the grid. He's like the rich energy. You have false promises, bullshit.
Got it.
False promises, bullshit. Imagine if we see rich energy on the. That'll be funny. That'll be funny.
But I think that'd be a pretty cool sight. Andretti and other teams. I feel like Andretti's been in the rumor mill of entering Formula One for years now, and it looks like there's progression there, and their name's definitely becoming more and more prominent in joining the Formula One circuit. And I really hope it happens because I think it's really, really good for the sport. It gives new drivers the opportunity. It gives the teams a new threat. Even Haas, they're not going to be the only American team anymore. Might force them to become better. I think Gene Haas will invest more in Haas F1 if he sees another American competitor enter the market of Formula One. And I think it's really, really good for the sport to add the potential of another engine supplier as well. Because if the engine supplier does well for Andretti, they might be recruited by a Toro Rosso to power them. You never
Ford.
know. Maybe McLaren.
Speaking of which, my other hot take is this. I don't know if you've been keeping tabs on the Formula E season, but it started off very well, and I watched the race in Mexico, and that was some very good shit. But amongst that, they now have McLaren in Formula E.
I saw that.
And Maserati.
I saw that as well.
And I don't know if you're aware, but Maserati was racing in the 50s, and Fangio won with them the World Drivers' Championship. If not once, then I think even twice.
I wasn't aware of that really because I wasn't alive during those times. But
yeah. But I remember that. And actually,
you remember that?
Yes. And Alfa Romeo, actually, that was the only time they ever won. It was in the first year, in 1950. the World Drivers' Championship. The first and only time that they ever won. But anyway, new manufacturers and companies have been joining Formula E in the electric thing, and Maserati doesn't really make electric shit.
Jaguar
So
was a very big entry a couple of years ago. I remember
yeah,
in Formula E.
yeah. So what's from stopping them to joining in Formula One? And not just that, Porsche as well.
Well,
I
Porsche
feel like
is trying to join as an engine supplier to Audi,
engine
right?
supplier, yeah. But what's stopping them from making their own team? Porsche F1,
Volkswagen,
Maserati
probably.
F1,
Probably Volkswagen
yeah,
stopping them because
Volkswagen or Porsche F1.
Audi and Porsche are all
Yeah.
under Volkswagen. So why spend the money for both of them if you just combine one, put the engine in Audi?
Mhm. But what's from stopping Maserati? Have you seen their livery in
Yeah,
the
yeah, it's
Formula E? It
cool.
looks
It's cool.
fire. That dark blue's
We got
perfect.
to go to the New York one. Now this year we gotta
Yeah,
go. This year we
yeah, for
gotta go.
sure.
I'll be free, so
Yeah. But definitely the I wouldn't mind seeing Maserati back on the grid. That would be
yeah. Like I
really
was saying, but it
nice.
ties into my hot take. Like,
Lotus, that would be a good one. I don't know. I don't even know. Well, Lotus was technically bought out, but like Lotus, I wouldn't mind seeing again the revival. You know,
yeah,
like that would be a fire one.
I wouldn't mind seeing Force India, anybody, but
Oh, fuck Force India. That was terrible, bro. That was terrible. Or Racing Point.
no,
Force
no.
India,
Force
Racing
India
Point.
was good back in like 2016, 17 when they had Perez and Ocon.
Uh,
And Perez and Hulkenberg, they were good over there. But no, I think like to your point, adding more teams and more diversity in Formula One is very very good. And I think a big step into that was regulating the sport more because we've seen with the whole Mercedes dominance, and before that was the Red Bull dominance, and before that was the Ferrari dominance. Now you have Mercedes have an absolute now because of the Mercedes tumultuous season, decisions on the spec of your car is more important than ever. As we've seen, if you don't, I'm sure you read up on the Mercedes thing and their explanation of what went wrong this season. It was one decision they made. It was one decision that took their whole project from high expectations to shit. And it took them 20 races to fix that shit when they finally won in Brazil. I love that about Formula One. It's like the margin of error is so slim, not only for drivers but for engineers and manufacturers as well. Because, like Mercedes has shown, one decision can be shocking for your team. It could lead to the ultimate demise and to someone's absolute benefit, in this case, Red Bull. With teams like Alpine, McLaren knocking on the door, Ferrari looking to come back to their glory days, Mercedes are going to be hungry as ever, and with Red Bull top dogs right now, with probably the best driver in the world at the moment, 2023 is going to be a hell of a season. There's so much. I think this is not really a hot take, but I want to get your thoughts on this. There's a lot at stake for a lot of different drivers this season, and a lot of different teams. For example, is Piastri going to live up to the hype? We saw a thing over the summer about how he absolutely left Alpine for McLaren. Will McLaren give the chance to Lando Norris and Piastri to win races? Will Aston Martin compete for some sort of race wins and be a more competitive car? Because the way they lured Fernando
this guy
Alonso,
drives like a tractor. I've seen a tractor go faster.
like Lewis Hamilton, a hungry
GP2
driver,
engine?
a hungry
GP2?
driver with after a tumultuous season for his team, and there's so much on the line this season. I can name you 10 drivers who have and teams who have or have a lot of stakes for the season. So it's gonna be a really 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 good season. I'm excited to see the recap of the 2022 season demonstrated by Drive to Survive. Car reveals are less than a month's time. About like what they start in like 3 weeks, which I'm very excited for.
Williams is the first one. Williams is the first one on the 6th of February.
Yeah, so around 2.5, 3 weeks. So Formula One's back, ladies and gentlemen. It's only a matter of time before we're in Bahrain. Or first we gotta go to Spain to test, but it's only a matter of time before we start the season in Bahrain. I'm really really looking forward to it. Some final words for you guys. If you check out my main channel, which will be linked in the description.
Actually, wait, I did want to cram in one more last hot
Oh,
take.
go on.
This one's gonna be interesting and something you possibly didn't expect. I don't know if you've been keeping track of the race winners' patterns, but ever since the introduction of Bahrain as a season opener,
I know what you're gonna say. Whoever wins Bahrain won't win the season.
won't win the World Drivers' Championship, and that happened in 2021 with Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
That happened with 2020, I think, with Vettel
Mm-hmm.
or
Leclerc.
Leclerc. No, Bottas. Bottas opened up the season. He lost that one. 2019, I think it was Bottas again. He also lost that season. 2018, Vettel opened up. 2017, Vettel opened up. Both lost.
So what you're saying is
I
do
don't
not
know.
win Bahrain.
Do now win Bahrain, and you'll win the World Drivers' Championship.
Oh,
And look, Leclerc won in Bahrain. He lost in the World Drivers' Championship.
yeah.
But here's a little twist. I feel like Max is going to win in Bahrain. And you know what that means. He's not going to win the World Drivers' Championship in 2023. If he wins in Bahrain, which I think he will. And that's gonna for me, that's gonna be like a solid red flag saying that Max isn't gonna win the 2023 World Drivers' Championship.
I mean, hey, we'll see. I mean, but what
Right
if
now, the pattern's pretty clear. Lewis has won at least the last four. It's the same as Michael in the early 2000s. Alonso came in, won in 2005 and 2006. Max Verstappen came, won in 2001, 2002. You know what happened in 2007? A new winner for Ferrari. That's why I'm saying Charles Leclerc is going to win, bro. You know? Maybe next year, Lewis. In a year, Lewis will get
no,
another.
no.
No. No.
We'll see. But that's a good hot take to wrap it all off, and let us know your thoughts on that, by the way, guys. But we also race quite frequently as well, and our friend Bryan over here has been working on a project to incorporate a more Formula One viewing style for go-kart races, our go-kart races. You can check out my POV on my main channel, which will be linked in the description, and you can follow some of the clips on my personal social medias, which will also be linked in the description below. But any final words before we wrap up the episode?
Nope. That's all about. That's about all it.
Awesome, guys. So, hope you guys are excited and ready for the new Formula One season as much as we are. And yeah, take care and peace out, everybody.
Hashtag Ferrari for the win.